Yeah. Right. Cool.
Sounds very good.
All right. And what I'll do is I'll tell you a couple of the differences that I've noticed that you've got to me, because there is one distinct difference I've noticed, and I'm not sure if that's the way Sifu's teaching it now, because I actually looked back on some old videos of Seth Chin doing the form, and he did it the way you've done it. But then I've looked at how Sifu's done it and how he's taught me, and it's slightly different. So we'll just talk about that difference, and then we'll seek clarification from Sifu, because there's always these little quirks. There's always little quirks in how he does stuff. So, and he'll probably say can and also can. But let's just let's just give it a crack. All right, I'm just going to put my camera down a fraction.
Sifu for sure will say you can, but you also can.
Yeah, he always does that. So for me, just so you know, just on that front, for me, I'm trying to standardize how I teach at different levels, because I think for the Western student, can and also can doesn't work.
Yes.
Yeah, it has to be one or the other. And that doesn't mean that when you start, you do it one way, and then later on, as they know it, we change it and teach it to them differently. But yeah, I've found that can and also can is a bit too hard for the Western brain. Most people go, what do you mean you can do it any way you like?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I also think so.
Yeah, all right.
And,
so let's
and next what Sifu always says, so I ask him, this way I should always do. I said, not always, not always.
No. Always is 70%.
Okay, yes.
So when Sifu,
one thing Sifu always says is you can and also can, and other thing is not always.
Yeah. He says we've talked a lot about always over the years, and he always only means 70%. It means whenever he says always, it means usually you would do it this way, but there's always exceptional circumstances.
Yes, sure.
All right, except for one thing, and that's ye. Always ye, 100%. Always must ye. So you always must have the intention. That is the one thing that that always means always.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
In everything else, always doesn't mean always.
Yes.
All right. So let's do this. Let's just do the first part of the form.
Okay.
All right. So what I think we'll go from here, and we'll just go to, I guess, here before we step. Does that work? So I'll show you. We'll just do this piece. We'll just go here, here. Yeah, good. Let's do that a couple of times. That looks fine. Yes. That looks really good. I do wonder though, with your legs, where's your weight falling on your feet? Is it coming? Can you see my legs okay? Because it looks like your knees are doing the Wing Chun thing and going slightly in. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell on the camera.
So I tend to have a bit this, I don't know how it's called, this X legs. But the bones are not straight, the bones are a bit.
Yeah, a bit there. So for me, the way I think of it is I pay attention to my feet, right? So I'm always thinking when I'm standing, I'm always paying attention to how my weight falls on my feet. And this allows me to adjust the knee a bit better. So if you just stand there and move your knees in and out, right? So where the ball of your big toe is, the big part of under your big toe, and the outside of the foot, the weight should be the same. So 50-50.
Yes.
Right? Same with the heel and toe. Now, if you move your knee in, you'll feel that it pushes to the inside of the foot straight away and starts to lift up the outside.
Yes.
So you want to start to push it out and feel where the middle is, and
Okay.
find the middle, and just be aware of that over time. Yeah.
Did Sifu tell this to you?
No, this is something that I worked out from my own practice, but also from understanding some of what Sam Chin's guys say.
Okay. So I also know such things from the Sam Chin side, but Sifu didn't tell me.
No, but with Sifu, if you watch him closely, you'll see how his knees and everything goes. This is sometimes one of the things I think is very hard with Sifu, is that sometimes it's so simple he doesn't know how to say it. If that makes sense. It's something he doesn't think too much about. Because again, later on, as you get better, then you can be free. You can do most anything. Yeah. But it's that having that foundation. So for me, I push with my students this idea of being balanced. Because when we stand at the start of class, it's about finding that structure. And having that nice and solid. Yeah.
So stand. If you speak from standing, do you mean some standing like Ichuan? Or only,
so Sifu tells us to stand either here, or even here, or we can do that one as well, the embrace the tree one. But he says, oh, that is what Chuan does, so don't do that too much. But the whole point is, he also says not too long, maybe 5 minutes tops, because otherwise you die. Otherwise, you die inside. And what he means by that is that you're no longer alive. You know, you're not able to react. So you have to do enough to understand your balance.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
But not so much that that's all you can do.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So when I meet Sifu, that first time I did a bit Ichuan before, and maybe because of this I told him this, and maybe because of this he didn't tell me that I should practice some standing, because he might think I do so.
Yeah, no. I ask him about standing, because he says, oh, you don't need it. You don't need to stand. It's not important, right? But I asked him about it, and he goes, look, yeah, you can. When you're teaching people, you can do it, only for a few minutes though. And again, I think it's very much a new student thing. It's understand why you do it and then put it away. So like I start all my classes with a couple of minutes of standing. But if everyone's good enough, I move straight from standing to like coring the app to these exercises and hand exercises. Yeah, so I tailor it out, because the amount of people who still can't stand well enough, they lean in when there's contact is too many. So from that perspective, I talk about this and I do this just to get that whole structure going.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just think that that's important in terms of making sure that there's enough. Like you, I came to train with Sifu after I'd already done a lot of other stuff, a lot of other training. And for him, that's what he says. He says he wants to teach instructors. Yeah.
Yes.
But sometimes I think he forgets. Sometimes he forgets to teach the basic stuff for when we have a new person come in who's never done anything. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So I start each class with that little bit of standing just to get used to it. But when we do the form, so if we just do this first part, we salute, extend out, come up, and then here, shoulders, elbows, wrists. So I think of it like a water.
Your arms, when you do this, your arms here are on the side or in front of your body? On the side?
A little bit in front. For me, I come here, and then when I come down, you'll see a little bit in front.
Yes, okay. Like
Yes.
this, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a natural movement. Okay.
Yes. For me, I think of it, you know, when you get out of bed and you stretch, you know, when you get out of bed and you just go, oh, that's what I think of this movement as stretching. But I think what is important is that you learn 1, 2, 3. So you're learning shoulder, elbow, wrist.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I think of it,
yes,
yeah. So that cascade.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we're here, as soon as you have that cascade, then you're good to go. Yeah. And also with the breathing, I don't know if he ever talked to you much about the breathing.
Not much. It's very interesting. If you can, one thing you can tell me, it's good.
Most breathing is just free and natural. There are a couple of pieces in the form where he's told me specifically a breathing pattern, right? Only a couple. So this one, when I first started, it was breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. But then it became just breathe in and breathe out.
That's so how I do. I also do breathe in, breathe out.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so that I do so. Okay.
Yeah, and then from there, so once we've got that, we've come here, we've stepped out. When we step out, from here, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe in again, breathe in again, breathe out. So there's only one little out breath there to 3 in breaths. All right, that's one of the real specific parts he said to me. But can you do watch this, right? Here, when you come up, have a look at my shoulders, all right? So here, I'll move a bit closer actually. So have a look at my shoulders. I come up and the shoulders do nothing. See how the shoulders stay stable? When I'm watching you, it looks like you're picking up a little bit with the shoulders.
Yes, I do. So thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah. So this has Sifu told you big brother, little brother work together?
Yes, sometimes he told me so, but I don't know.
So what that means to me is that I don't want to take my shoulder out of the socket. Right? My shoulder wants to always stay connected to my torso. Right? I don't want to, especially when I'm fajin, I don't want to be pulling it up and out. It might have a small circle. I might circle it, but you see it's not lifting right up. So I always think of the shoulder as having to stay relaxed. So when I do this, you can see the shoulder, and when I bring it back, the shoulder is still stable.
Yes.
Yeah? And this is that idea of 1, 2, 3. So I come up, pop. Yeah, do it again. Yeah. Yeah, good. But do you notice how your whole body tightens?
Excuse me?
You notice how your whole body goes tight?
If I know or if I don't.
Sorry?
I'm not sure if do I tighten or should I tighten?
You should not. It just looks like for a fraction you go and then relax. It should stay relaxed. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it wants to stay relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You are. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
For sure, I
Otherwise,
did.
yeah. And for me,
Okay.
Franz, I don't do the 21 form with Fajin very often. So I rarely do this. Right? I pretty much always just do it nice and slow. And the reason I do that is to learn the connection better and the relaxation.
Yes.
Because as Sifu says, this form is about making the body round. And for me,
Yes.
making the body round is about connecting it.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So I think of it, now I fudge in more than I used to, but here I just really think small amount. It's more an idea than an action, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So I use I talk about this as idea versus action. It's like when we come back, shoulder, elbow, wrist. It's not that you isolate and only do shoulder, then only do elbow, then only do wrist, but your mind, your yi is in your shoulder. Then your yi is in your elbow, then your yi is in your wrist. Yeah?
Okay. Okay.
So I think that here as well. When I come up, I think release rather than fudging, rather than trying to go hard.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just nice and relaxed still. Lazy. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow.
So that way when you come through and you do this and you come up, it's straight away sitting back into it. Yeah. Go again. Very nice. There, instead of having your palms down, have a look at my hand. So as I come back, can you see my fingers, how they're down?
Yes, the pointing finger.
Yeah. And then I stand up. So my fingers, they're not this.
Sifu told me it's important that the thumb goes to the
Yes.
ground.
The thumb goes down and the pointer go down.
Okay, so not this. Is okay.
Not
okay.
This.
Yes.
And then down.
Okay.
Because
okay.
so that you're learning, straight down. Instead of learning this, because a lot of people do this. They come out from the body. This one is about here, straight down. And then stand up at the end.
Okay. Thank you.
No, that's all right. So yeah, just straight down. Yes. Yes, correct. Yes. No need to wibble the hips.
Excuse me?
You don't need to turn the hips there. Do you notice here, as you're coming down, your hips, I'm exaggerating, your hips do a little bit of a turn.
Yeah, okay, maybe. Okay, I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, no worries. So just,
okay.
just straight up. Yes, better. Yeah, there you go again.
It's good to have one who look at you and give you feedback.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to recognize everything on your own. I think so.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's really challenging.
I got the feeling when I come up, but it's a feeling. When I come up, I tend to fall in.
Yes, yes. So if you watch from here,
Yes.
I don't worry too much about that. When I stand up, I try just to stand. I try to think about the front.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I try to stretch out the front here.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm not too worried about the back section. Right.
Mm-hmm.
As I come here, I'm looking to just stretch out the legs and stand up. So I get the feeling of stretch at the front in the quad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not.
So it's a better. Okay.
Yes. So you can let go a little.
Yes. Yes. Good.
Yeah. Because I think for me, I think about it as trying to explore the body. I want to know how the body works as best I can. So that means sometimes I'll do something intentionally wrong in order to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can not repeat it, right? So when I'm here and I come up, I think of it as opening here, stretching this up. I want to stretch the quad up. And I let my legs lock out. So if I exaggerate, if I do it too big, I'll end up like this. Right? That's not what it looks like, but that's kind of what it feels like. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So I don't worry too much about the Ming Men. That's it. Now just feel your shoulders and can you feel your shoulders and your chest, how they're quite tight? So when you're here, you know how you've got your chest pulled right open? So here, my chest, as I come back, my chest is open. I relax my fingers, but as I go down, I relax my chest. Yes. So you have to let your whole chest relax. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Good. But I think stand up a little bit later. So for me, when I'm here, I go arms, 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 arms. And when I get to about my hips, now I stand up. So it's only at the last piece here that I stand up. Yes. Good. Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one thing to look at, have a watch. I want you to watch watch my hands in relation to my shoulder.
Okay.
All right. So when I come up and I do this, when I sit down, can you see how my hands are still in front of my shoulders?
Yes.
It looks like, and I'm not sure, it looks like your hands are too wide. And when you come back, your hands are outside your shoulders.
Yes,
That's what,
think so,
yeah,
because I
yeah,
try to open. It's not so much open here.
yeah,
I thought I have to
yes.
open.
The feeling is open. So the feeling is correct,
Okay.
right? But here, the feeling is correct, but here, that opening, I leave my hands here. So my hands are not going out or in. They're from this point here, they're staying in the same line. Yeah? And then when I go down here, when I relax it down, essentially my thumbs are touching my torso. So when I
But
teach this,
yeah. Yes.
I tell people in the beginning, I tell them your thumb stays touching your body. So essentially it goes down the line, straight down your chest. Yeah, so almost from your shoulder down through your nipple down to your qua.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how do you, when you're here, so now you have become round.
Yeah, so
you
here.
have to become round. How do you become round without, don't go?
So here, elbows, I roll my elbows out, but I pivot on my wrist. So if I have my hand here, all right, see this point here on my wrist?
Yes.
All right, so this is, my hand is at my shoulder. As I come out, I leave that point.
Okay.
So can you see how that's not moving? My hand goes
absolutely.
in, my elbow goes out, but this point stays the same.
But do you go this point? Don't leave inside, outside, up and down, but do this point move to the back a bit?
Yes. Yeah, okay. Yes, but not straight away. So to a new student, the way Sifu taught us in the beginning is when you're here, you go 1. Then you go 1, 2, 3. Yes. Yeah, that's how he taught us to start. But then he said, as you get better, here, boom, you do it all in one go. But in the beginning, you go, to a new student, you go 1, and then shoulders, elbows, wrists.
Yes.
Then relax the hands so the fingers are down, go down, stand up.
Okay. Yes.
Does that fit?
Yes, I think so. Absolutely. Yes, sure.
So go again.
Start here.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah. So I think of it as when someone is pressing here, right? And to change that, I lift my elbow, turn my hand in, but the point of contact stays the same. Yeah, so I'm not changing the point of contact. This doesn't change.
Yes, okay.
Yeah? Yeah. So then it's up, hop, hand in, elbow out, then come back. Yes. Yep, then they're really relaxed, really work on this. You'll find here, when you let your hands relax, it makes your shoulders tighten up a little bit. I don't know if you feel that, but here now I need to really turn my fingers down. So over time, I'm learning to get from here to here. Because I want my finger and my thumb straight down.
And shoulders are relaxed.
Shoulders are relaxed. Yes. In the beginning, you won't find that. As you'll get here and your shoulders will stay relaxed. Then as you go this next bit, your shoulders will feel tight. And that's just, you don't have the flexibility yet. So here, I think, from here, when I get that relaxed, I want to point my fingers down, even if it means my shoulders get a little bit tight to start with, and then I work on relaxing the shoulders. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure if I have understood you.
So if I'm here and I have to keep my shoulder relaxed and I drop my fingers don't go all the way down because I'm not good enough. Right? Yeah. So in order to get my finger down, I might have to make my shoulder come up a little bit to start with. right? So I think it's important that this finger is straight down. And if that means my shoulder is not relaxed, I hold this position and then I relax my shoulder.
Okay, yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Is it also possible to relax and then bring a bit tension here?
Yes,
To
yes,
point
yes,
down
yes.
and stay
Yes.
relaxed here. So if I only relax the finger is this way, when I bring a bit tension here, I point to that and I can hold the shoulder also relaxed.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Is exactly what you're saying, right? So here, if I have to make this a bit tight or stretch or here a bit tight in order to get this, that's okay to start with because you're learning how to make it better.
So I think first I didn't bring the tension here. I bring up the elbow, and because of this, the shoulder also came up. But I'm relaxed here. So if I do the other way, I bring the tension here and can stay relaxed here.
And either way is good, right? The important point is that this is going straight down.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
and that's
because this is also the same here. If you think about it, if you're pushing me on the wrist, if you've got your hand on my wrist, right, what I'm looking for is to get my hand relaxed while the point of contact is the same, and then to take you down with me.
Yes.
So from side on here, if it's being pushed, it comes in and then straight down and takes it with, right? What I notice a lot of my students do is when they get pushed, as they go down, they try to fight and come back out as well. So they're actually trying to do this, and then they're pushing too much back into the other person rather than just straight down.
How can you ensure, or how can you make, if you do so with the partner, how can you create that the partner follows you and don't go in, for example?
Because
how can you connect? How can you bring a connection that you can?
So here, what you want is you want your partner to push and 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 push.
Yes. Sure.
Right. What happens is, so when they're pushing, I have to push back a little bit, of course, not too much, just enough to stay connected. So as they push, I don't just give way. Boom.
Yes.
That's bad, right? As they push, I control their push. I let them push, but I stay in touch. Yes. Then here, I keep the push, I keep the wrist connected and relax my fingers down. Then, as they're still pushing, I guide them down. Yeah.
But how can you guarantee that the one who is pushing here, if you guide him down, will not flip up?
Because you have sticky. Because your sticky is correct. If your sticky is not correct, then of course they can.
Okay. So how do you create the sticky? Okay.
So the sticky
is the secret.
Yeah, this is the secret. The sticky is connecting. What's the best way? For me, when I do this one, I actually use a drill that I used to use in my old system, which is similar to some Tai Chi stuff. So what we get is we get someone to actually push here. Boom. And keep pushing. So what we'll get is we'll get the push right onto the body and keep pushing, and then have the person try and slide down. And as long as the person isn't what we call biasing the jong, if the person is actually pushing this way, pushing in, not going, oh, I can feel what you're trying to do, so I'm going to do something different. Right? Yes. As long as the important part is that your partner is honest. Your partner is going, I have to push straight ahead, and just pushes straight ahead. So that allows you to do this.
Yes. Okay.
Just to start. Later, they can do whatever they want. But when you train slow, the problem is sometimes the brain wants to cheat, right?
The brain wants to what? Sorry?
Cheat. The brain wants to cheat. So what we call biasing the jong. So it's like, I know what you want to do, so I'm going to make it too hard for you to be able to do it.
Yes, okay.
So this is where my intention has to be really good. My intention has to be, what am I doing? I'm pushing that hand back here.
Yes.
Right? As long as that's my intention, is this, boom. Even if I do it slow, that I keep doing that I don't suddenly, as I'm going slow, when I start to feel them start to do this, that I lift it up or whatever, that I change.
Yes, sure. Yes.
Because if you change, I have to change.
Yes, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So here you want to look at, as a partner drill, get them pushing and holding, and then from here, maintain the point of contact. So it's important that here you maintain the point of contact. Basically, you have to push the wrist into their hand and then turn the fingers down. Yes. Yeah. So I have to.
So by relaxing the hand, I think there is a bit of
yes.
A movement who makes this.
Yes.
Push
the idea.
forward.
It's more an idea than a movement. So it's not that.
Yes.
It's more.
Yes.
It's more here is the last piece to go back. And then it stays there. So when my hand relaxes, can you see my wrist doesn't move?
Yes.
Right? So as I come back here, my wrist has to stay still as my hand relaxes.
Yes.
Then
yes.
I can start to guide it down. And the idea is that you're taking the person past their natural strength. So you know how you are strong. You know if you have your arm all the way out and you make it strong, right? If I take it a little bit forward, you fall over.
Yeah, sure.
You know, yeah. So that's really what you're trying to do. When the person is pushing, you're making them commit to the push, and then you're trying to overextend them.
Yes, sure. Okay, so he bring himself in a weak position. So if he straightened his arm, he came to a weak position.
Yes, so, exactly.
But it's different when he make such a sort of push. Don't do the push with the arm. Push with the body. So it's not the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. If he pushes here with the body, this movement will have to change slightly.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, sure. that movement. Sure. But what it changes to is if they're pushing with the body, boom.
Yes.
Is that what it changes to is here I have to now turn.
So he also
Exactly. Okay. So if they're trying to do this, I need to encourage them to make a mistake.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. Hold on. My phone just told me it's running out of charge for some reason. Hold on. Just 2 seconds.
Yes, no problem.
Oh, geez. I forgot to plug in the charger to have it power up while we're doing it. So it's lost a bit of charge, but it should be okay now.
I'm not sure. I didn't understand, but it's okay.
My phone is running out of power.
Oh, okay.
So I just plugged it in.
Yes, okay. Now I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope I did. That's correct.
So does that make sense? So does
Yeah, absolutely.
this make sense?
Yeah, yeah, absolute. Yeah.
So this movement is to draw them out.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, good. So I want to stay contained. I want to stay connected. My hip and my shoulder are both in. I come back nice and slowly. I relax down. Hopefully here they've extended past where they're at their strongest. I don't want to push back too hard into it because that lets them be strong again. I want to take them down.
What do you
So that
mean
if
when
you are,
you? What do
so
you
if
mean
I'm,
when you? Excuse me. What do you mean when you say your hip and your shoulder are connected in? What does the in mean?
oh, so just that they are connected. Just they are
Okay.
connected. So again, it means if you lift your arm up and you feel your shoulder come out, you feel how it comes out of the socket. You'll also
Yes.
feel that your hip is now out. So you want to sit into your hip, sit into your shoulder. So that
Yes,
so your torso is one. This is big brother, little brother works together.
yes.
It has to be able to separate as well, but it generally works together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially in the beginning.
Yes, thank you.
Because
Okay.
that way, this is the lick hock. This is the strength mechanic, understanding the strength mechanic. Once you have strength mechanic, you can let it go.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So now, is that enough of that? We've done enough of that bit. Let's do the next little piece, right?
Yes. Okay. Good.
So from here, I'll show you the way I teach it, and I'll explain it to you. All right. So here, I teach my students to turn the hips one way and turn back, and then step.
Okay.
As opposed to just step. Right? And the reason I teach them that is so that they get used to the idea of the whole body connecting. So this is I get this little bit of a wind up almost to help with the movement. Yes. As opposed to if you watch Sifu do it, he will just step.
And I think I'm doing half. I'm doing only this side.
Yes. Yeah. See, I get them, I intentionally get them to do this as a way of learning. Oh, what's going on with my...
It's okay again. No. It's put it down, it's okay again.
Yeah. So I really get them to intentionally do this to understand how the body has to work together as much as possible. And this, see, this is the one difference that you make to me that I was saying before, right? Is you do this, right? When you do this, you step out here.
Yes.
I step out here, straight ahead.
You step forward. Okay.
Yeah. So yes. So Sifu tells me watch this foot.
Yes.
So here when I step, this foot stays straight ahead. See how both feet are straight ahead?
Yes.
Boom. Then when I turn, now I have straight ahead and on an angle. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, makes sense. Makes sense.
See, and this is what I was saying.
It doesn't mean that Sifu told me that I should do so. It only means that I'm doing it so. So that's why I want to get corrections from you.
See, I went back because I had a look at that, and I went back and I had a look at a video of the 21 form done by Seth Chin, who, when I first started, he was Sifu senior student. He was level 5 then, and he does it where he steps out like you do. But I know from Sifu, because when we first started doing it, he would get us to step out. And I've had this conversation with him about the feet. And he says, oh yeah, in the beginning, you can turn your foot out like this. But really what you're looking for here is to get this foot still straight ahead. What am I doing? Here, straight ahead.
So both of your foot are now straight ahead.
Yep, both of my feet are straight ahead.
Yes.
And then when I turn, one foot is straight ahead and this one is on an angle.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Okay,
Correct.
okay. Thank you very much.
No, that's all right.
So, and by teaching, you are doing this.
Yeah. So I do that, and that's the start of the butterfly form too, right? So at the very start of the butterfly form, you know, at the butterfly, you do this.
Yes.
So that's that same movement. You're getting the hips turning here. Yes. So then at the start of the butterfly, because Sifu, the way I understood it from Sifu is essentially, I really want to be flexible here.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And so I transferred that to the start of the 21 form for my students. Because as Sifu says, the 21 form is just the long version of the butterfly.
Yes, it is. It's the same.
Yeah, so that's why when we get here that I've added this little piece in. Sifu doesn't explicitly teach it, but I just think it really helps people to understand the whole body connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you do the next part from here,
yep,
the right hand goes a bit in front of the shoulder.
Yep.
And yes, it's okay.
So here, step out. So left foot forward in the first step. Yeah. Right hand is in front of the left shoulder. Left hand in front of the left hip. Then from here, pull back the right hip, press. Yes. But watch the, yeah. But forward in front of the left hip. So not here,
Yes.
Still across. Yes. But watch the bottom hand. Watch the bottom hand, right? So here, when I step, when I do this, this hand comes out and back. So I'll do it side on. So here, I step, watch this hand.
Yes.
Right? Here.
The head came up.
Yeah, out. Yeah, it's a little bit up and out, but it's more out than up. So you come here and then out.
So out does mean
so
this direction.
No, not that direction. So with the hip. So so here, my hips are turning this way, right? So I come here, my hips are turning, so I'm facing over here, and then they're coming back, yes?
Yes.
Yep. So from here, as my hips are turning this way, this hand goes the same way. So it goes this way. Yes. But more out than across. So now, so here, right, here, watch. As I come back, see how it comes out? More out than across.
Out, do you mean forward?
Yes, but not too far, only a little bit. Yes, too much, but yes. Only a little bit, like it's again, more an idea.
Yeah.
So think of it like this, Franz. Think of it like this. When I'm here and I step out, this hand has to be connected, right? as I pull this one back, I have to keep the connection on this hand. So it has to go out. It has to maintain the connection, and then it has to draw the hand back. I think of this as tiger's mouth. So this hand that comes back, I think of it as connecting here and taking the hand back.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it's got
So
a few different.
Yes. I have seen now when I do, I circle first, circle in, and then came out. It's not correct. Is it correct?
No, that's for the top arm is good. The top arm is good. It's the bottom arm that's not so.
It's this, yeah, but the top arm is
yes,
first
that's
inside
good.
movement and then outside movement.
Yeah.
Then,
So from here, as I come here, I think of it as, you're right, here is one way to do it. I tend to think of it more at the wrist and the hip. I tend to think turn the hip, turn the wrist. So I don't go quite as far across as you, but it's the same thing. Yes, that's it. And one of the things I get my students to do in the beginning is watch my elbow. Watch my elbow. Here I don't use the elbow. The elbow stays, so it's hip, the hip and the wrist. Not letting the elbow go so much to start with. Yes. Just to start with, you have to let the elbow go again, but I think, yes. But I'm more worried, I think your top hand is fine. It's more just the bottom hand, making sure that the bottom hand is connected, that your bottom hand is connecting a bit better. Yeah.
That's not so easy. You're right.
No, that's right. It's not so easy. So it's one of those things to think about. More than to do too much of, it's more think about it. So here, when I practice, I'm here, I think this one comes back, this one goes forward. Because you know the principle, one forward, one back, one up, one down, right? See, if it was told you, right. So if I'm here, if this hand comes back, this one goes forward.
Sure.
So when I do this, yes, that's it. So one forward, one back, one up, one down. Yeah. Yes, but not across so much. Think here, think forward and across, think 45 degrees. So as my hips turn, my hand goes 45.
Okay, so yes. It's not going this way, it's going this way because of the movement.
Yes, exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
Sure. It's, okay, yes.
But that's it. But it's only small. That's right now, but too big. Yes. Yes, good. Good. So I'm here, and I come back, and I press, come back to my side, turn, and then the same. 1, 2.
Which foot starts with the turning?
You can do it however. For me, I teach people to do the feet together. So I think of it like this. When I'm teaching people, I tell them, imagine you're grabbing a big wheel and you're wrenching it. Yes. So that's how I teach that. Boom. Right?
Okay.
Sifu has said at different times, it does not matter. Here, you can be here, you can turn one and the other, or you can turn them both together. Right? So I can be here and I can go 1, 2, or I can do 1. I think it's an easier concept for students to get as 1. Boom. Yeah, but there, do it again.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it looks to me like you're keeping your heels. So watch my feet. So here, my toes stay and my heels move.
Mhm. Yes, I kept my heel. You're right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas you're turning on your toes. Yeah, that's it. Now, just so you know, that could well be a mistake on my part because in my old system, I was taught to always, if I move both feet, that I turn off my toes. If I move one foot, I turn off my heel.
Okay.
And
We,
that's
in Wing
something,
Chun, in our Wing Chun system, we always move on the middle of the foot.
yeah,
At this point, we always move
yeah,
on the middle. So I also have to
yeah. So,
change right now.
so that's where the weight should come through to the ground with what we do, but we also have to be able to transfer here. So you can do it 1, 2. You can do it 1, 2, 1, 2, or you can do it 1,
Can I ask
1.
you another question? So
Yep,
before, in this position, so
yep,
when I'm here,
yep.
what about your balance and your weight? Do you have 50-50 or do you
Yep.
have?
Right. So there's, to be correct, it's 50-50.
Okay.
But sometimes one of the things that I had to do in order to get it right was from here, I'll just do it on this side here, is
Okay.
here to actually come a lot further back. So my
So
weight was here, but this leg was back.
you
Right?
straighten
So
your right leg. You straighten the
yes.
leg. Okay.
Yes. So I'm trying to make as long a distance from my toe to my finger.
Okay. So why
Is
are
that
you doing this? I can. What's the sense of this?
right? To learn how to stretch all the body parts.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so when I'm here, I go here, and now I do this. So you can see I'm quite upright, quite small,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
to get that from here all the way back, so I can learn to relax the quad, to loosen the quad out, and then stretch this as far as I can. So it's as far as it can be from my right toe to my left fingertip, so that there's
Yes.
no more room that I can stretch. Yeah, and then to
So,
relax it, and then relax the shoulder and the hip into that. Yes,
so you have to straighten one
yes,
leg,
yes.
but it's also nearly. It's not 50-50, but it's also nearly 50-50, isn't it?
Yeah, so when you're there, when you've got that, it'll be hard to be 50-50 to start, right? So then you want to work on how far do I tilt to bring it back to 50-50. So you feel
Okay.
how you can tilt here, right? So you then work the tilt to get it back to 50-50. And then over time, it becomes much smaller. Over time, you can see I don't do a lot,
Okay.
right? But in the beginning, really you want to learn the length of the body. Yeah.
Okay.
But it looks like your back leg is reasonably straight as well. Is your back leg straight or bent?
Pardon? My back. This one.
No, the other one. Is that
This is
bent?
not. This is bent. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, right, cool. Yeah. Yeah, good, very good. Excellent. So can you do that again? Do that again. Do that again.
So I do it this direction. You can see
Yeah,
it from
yeah,
the
yeah,
side.
yeah. Right. So from there, I want you from your hips to straighten up and bend down. Try and keep your bum still, but just straighten up, bend down. Feel how that changes where your weight is in your feet. Can you feel how that changes the balance?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to find the line where you have the biggest stretch, toe to finger, as long as you can get, and then find where to come to get the balance 50-50. That's it. I think you need to try and bend your left leg a little bit more. Yeah, try and bend that leg a little bit more. Make sure your knee's going the same way your toes are pointing. Yeah, good. Yeah.
But it's also possible to shift the weight a bit, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So the thing is, now you have to find the middle while you're in that position.
It's a new point of view for me.
Yeah, it's finding. So for me, right, Franz, a couple of things. I know that I'm meant to drop my weight into the floor between. Well, I know that I'm meant to drop my weight through the floor to the floor.
Yes.
Right. So I know that my weight needs to be balanced. So whatever position I get to, I have to try and find that.
Yes. Okay.
Right. And
so, but sorry, did Sifu tell you this position?
Yes. Sifu taught us in the beginning to get all the way here.
Okay.
And we asked him about it, and he was just like, yeah, over time you slowly come back up.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason, like, he didn't explain this, but the reason is that in order to get the flexibility here, right, if you keep this front leg bent, you get lazy here. If you straighten your leg, you straighten your front leg and then work on popping that back, you feel that you start to have to loosen out through the quad, through the hip, right? Because otherwise it's too stiff.
I didn't do it this way before. I have to find out now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so Sifu would have shown you this. You would have learned this one, where you go back and forward,
The butterfly.
and also this. Well, see, when we first trained, the first day we trained with Sifu, he had us doing this or this for about, I don't know, 2 hours, just working this. Boom, boom. And that was this leg was to be straight so that you would learn to relax here.
It's like in the butterfly form, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, because that's different. This part of the butterfly form is not this. This part of the butterfly form is straight down. It's one of the few very hard parts of the form. It's what Sifu calls it piston. All right. So when you're here, it's piston. So my foot, I've got 1 foot straight ahead, 1 foot 45. My hips are to the front and I'm squatting. And it's really, really hard. Right? A lot of people will turn their hips a little bit and then they go, yep, that's easy. But my hips have to be to the front. And this is for me, one of the hardest things. Yeah. So that one's called piston.
I didn't hear this. Okay.
Piston. So do you know in a car engine, how in the car engine there are pistons, those bits that go up and down in the engine? That make the fuel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a piston.
Okay.
So it goes up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yes.
So
okay.
this, my spine is a piston. Boom.
Okay.
Yes, and see how hard it is to go much lower? So Sifu would say to us, you want to practice doing a whole squat here.
Okay.
Which is very, very hard.
Okay.
And you'll see he does it all the time. You'll see whenever you try to pull him, he just sits. This is piston. And then he'll pop you over to the side. Anyway, we should probably call it and finish our little bit of private training, I think.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yes, you have to. Yeah,
Because
sure.
we only have 5 minutes before class. Are you staying for class tonight, or are you going to the dentist?
I have to today. I have to go to the dentist because last week one tooth is hurting, and I make that date, and now it's not hurting, but I have to go there.
Yeah, go and get it looked at. Make sure, so practice what we were talking about tonight.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
No worries. Let me know if there's any questions about it. And if you want to, you can always send me a bit of video on it as well, and I'll have a look as well.
So maybe we can repeat same next week. So then we also can talk about, okay, thank you very much.
Yep, and then we add a bit more and a bit more.
Carry on, yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Seeing.
So, no worries. Hopefully you got enough detail there.
Oh, a lot. Thank you very much.
Good.
I have a lot to think about and to practice about. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and don't forget to ask whatever.
Yes, I want to wish you a good training session now. Enjoy.
Thank you, Franz.
Have a nice evening.
You too, and I will see you. I'll see you next week, same time.
Yes, sure. Yes, sure.
Awesome, and I'll probably talk to you before then. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye.
No worries. Thanks, Franz.
Thank you too.